right, greetings. It is 6:02 by my count on Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026, and I will call the meeting of the Finance and Administration Committee to order. I will begin with the roll call. I am here. Councilmember not Cotton, but Holloway is here by the label. And
Not Cotton One.
Yeah, there we go. Holloway is here. We have the mayor, we have city attorney, we have finance director Boutte, and we have community and economic development director. I trip up on that. I want to say environmental every time.
Nobody here that doesn't know.
Economic development director Mona Davis is here as well. Next thing is for the agenda, and I am also pulling it up here.
Move to approve.
Just thank you.
Second.
So that I can do it real quick just to make sure. Let me open one more thing. Okay, I do not have any changes and I heard none from Councilmember Holloway. Okay, then we will consider the agenda approved. There. All right, next thing is public comments. Are there any members of the public who would like to make comments tonight? Okay, seeing no one stepping forward, I'll go ahead and close the public comments and then next is the approval of the minutes. I did not have any changes to the minutes, Councilmember Holloway?
No.
Okay, then without objection, we'll consider the minutes for May 19th, 2026 for F&A to be approved as presented. Next is the approval of warrants and claims report, which is dated June 2nd, 2026. I have not received any questions from other council members. Any concerns or thoughts? All right. I did not have anything that staff wanted to bring to our attention. Sometimes that happens. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and move those onto council under consent. Great. Man, the microphone is really good tonight. Okay, next is the agenda bills. We have one, AB 26-018, which is approval for legal services with Summit Law Group. And is this going to be city attorney leading us through this? Okay.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Committee. I am Dina Burke, your city attorney, and before you is Agenda Bill 26018, which is authorization to enter into an engagement agreement with Summit Law with a not to exceed amount of $205,000. By way of background, and I previously presented on this at the last Finance and Administration Committee. We are proposing to enter into this updated agreement. The last engagement letter was entered into in 2016. This issue was discovered as a part of onboarding new contract software. Staff is not clear on the past practices due to staff turnover, but we do wish to ensure going forward that there is an updated engagement letter in place. Summit Law is the firm we use for employment law and union-related legal matters. They have attorneys who specialize not just in employment law, but also specifically in advising government agencies on issues related to employment law. And as you know, the city is a full-service city with 3 unions, and that generates a lot of union and labor-related issues, plus the unique employment law issues that arise from the city. The engagement letter would be for the remainder of 2026 with the not to exceed amount of $205,000. That amount is high due to the fact that we are in active negotiations with all 3 unions, fire, police, and Teamsters this year. If you heard me say the remainder of 2026 and you're wondering about 27 and 28, in late 26 or 27, we would bring forward a new engagement letter that would cover the biennial budget of 2027 and 2028. But we don't know that amount as we still have to go through the budget process. When I did the sneak preview at the last F&A committee, I was asked regarding how much we've historically spent on Summit Law. So, and I rounded these numbers up just because I didn't want to say a whole bunch of digits. In 2023, we spent roughly 78,000. In 2024, we spent 75,000. In 2025, we spent 84,000. And so far, what we've been billed for, there may still be, outgoing work and everything, for 2026 is 19,000. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
So are we jumping up from the historical numbers that were in like the 70s to 80s up to 200,000, as effectively more than doubling?
So that I collaborated with our HR manager or HR director on this, and that was the amount she recommended, based on the fact that we are in a unique year of having fire, police, and Teamsters all in negotiations.
Got it. So it's that extra amount of work. Okay. And then the next thing is the amount budgeted that is cited in the agenda bill is 4.5 million. Is that for legal altogether, or is that the portion that in the biennium has been set aside for Summit Law? That might be a Mr. Boutte question.
So the administrative departments basically incorporate communications, city attorney, city clerk, council, legislative, the finance department, and potentially some others as well in there too. So in essence, what we're sharing here with you is services. So it's just the service portion of their total budget for that functional classification, which is at the level that we appropriate. Yep.
Got it. Then the next thing is that would leave after that 261,000 for the remainder of the biennium. Is that right?
Yes, for additional services that we may purchase.
Okay. Councilmember Holloway?
No, this is $205,000 contract, $15,000 already spent. In essence, this is a time and material not to exceed to that $205,000 limit.
Right.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay, and then this is not not an ordinance, so it could potentially go on the
Consent.
Thank you, consent. I'm struggling tonight, clearly, on the consent agenda. Thoughts, Councilmember Holloway?
It's still $200,000 and we still got a budget hole, so I off consent as long as we're spending money. Significant money.
At least that amount is, yeah, it's a decent amount. Okay, then not on consent, but it would come out of F&A. All right. Okay, then the next thing is a discussion. Item number 4, discussion of potential best land use in unincorporated UGA. Is there any news from staff? Any updates that staff want to give us or administration? With regard to the moratorium, there was one thing that I do have a concern about that I would like to bring back to the council, since we didn't have time to talk with legal before our meeting on Friday. So I wasn't prepared at that time, since again, we didn't have that intervening period. But that's the only new thing that I had. Councilmember Holloway?
Okay, other than, just to keep people aware, the working group, did meet together, last Thursday. We'll meet again tomorrow. Took actions out of that, meeting that, the community group was gonna get together. It did provide a list of potential headings within a response letter to the permit. They were gonna go back, see what, one, if there were additions to that proposed list, 2, what material they already have, because there's a slew of them, what material they may already have to support input into each of those heading sections. And we'll have that discussion tomorrow night up at the fire station. And that's kind of where we are. Things are rolling.
All right. Then anything else would just have to do with scheduling meetings and things like that, especially with regard to our next Monday council meeting. Anything else on that?
No, not outside executive.
Okay. Yeah, there's always that. Okay, next is item number 5, which has to do with data centers. And I believe that the administration may have something to introduce.
Hi, good evening,
Director
Council.
Davis.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Mona Davis, Community and Economic Development Director. Let me just share my screen here a moment. Where is my PowerPoint? Here we go. Okay. So you have some information in your packet materials that provides some pretty basic high-level information on data centers. And I want to start by telling you that there have been no inquiries to the city of Snoqualmie around this type of use or development of a data center. However, there's quite a bit of information circulating in the local media these days about data centers, making applications in other cities, particularly in Washington State. And additionally, some cities and counties have recently passed or implemented moratoriums around these types of uses in their jurisdictions. So to be proactive, staff are providing you with information on current zoning standards for this type of use and seeking council's direction on various options available to shape how and where data centers may be located. So this discussion is also timely as the city is currently working to update our zoning map and comprehensive plans future land use map, also affectionately known as the FLUME. So the current Snoqualmie Municipal Code prohibits data centers in most zones other than office park and planned commercial industrial or PCI, where a conditional use permitting process would be required to permit them. So if I go to the zoning map here, oh, you know what? I need to, do I hit, oh, in here, thank you. Sorry, I didn't even realize I was not in my, thank you, Drew. So if we go to the zoning map here, these are highlighted in light purple and dark purple. The dark purple represents the planned commercial industrial or PCI for short, where the mill site currently has a development agreement in place. The lighter purple is office park zoning. That's where the old hospital used to be that's currently owned by the Snoqualmie tribe. So the future land use map that I've brought up on the screen now is showing our current long-range zoning of master plan business park as an extension of the business park that's up on the ridge. In light of the recent battery storage proposal in this location, we should consider long-range plans in our future annexation area. And this annexation area also includes the innovative mixed-use zone and residential designations that are shown in the yellow there that have been assigned to that annexation area. But as a reminder, the zoning authority in the UGA remains with King County until that annexation occurs, as we all know. So staff have provided,
Can we just stay on that slide real quick?
oh, the one before.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so when I'm looking at the table here, it does say mixed use. Separate check needed and then notes off to the side. In other words, it's complicated. Is that the beigey orangey ridge?
So everything in beige, this is the future land use map, but everything in beige is zone mixed use, which is up on the ridge. Yes.
That's kind of why I'm bringing it up. Is
Yes.
if it's like we don't know about that entire area, which is basically open space and residential for almost all of it. I suppose business park, but the business park isn't outlined as a separate thing. Then it's sort of like a who knows,
Well, this map is our current zoning map.
right?
So yes, all of that is going to be under review this summer as we go
I
through
shouldn't
the
have even-
exercise of,
Sorry, I shouldn't have even called it open space because it's not zoned as open space. I
No.
just mean that that's the use right now, but it's all zoned as mixed use.
yes, the entire ridge development is zoned as mixed use. So as part of our work this year, we'll be going through, looking at the zoning, looking at what our land use designations are in the future land use map. And to see if those are still appropriate. Those were designated, I think, 2 comprehensive plans ago. So we might want to take a closer look at that. Okay. So staff has provided zoning amendment options for your consideration with further explanations of what those options are and what they do. So unless you'd like me to dive into that a little deeper, I'm assuming that you've probably already seen that and evaluated that.
I'm okay.
Okay.
Councilor Holloway?
Wait, okay, it's, in my opinion, we probably already have what we would call a small data center already within the city boundary. Which has been a good partner for the most part, with us. So my only concern is I don't want to broad brush data center as bad. There are
Mhm, yeah.
certain types of data centers which are bad when they consume more resources, power, impact the neighborhood and everything else. So I just want to make sure that we're not encumbering existing businesses that are here, that may want to move here, that can coexist with us
Mhm.
versus projects that come in and wholesale take chunks out of our future growth.
Water,
Water,
energy, and all the
safety,
things.
yes.
Yes, so that
Yeah.
kind of leads me to my next slide here, where staff are bringing this issue to kind of be more proactive in knowing how best that the council would like us to prepare for this type of a development application or our existing developments that could be in the city. And so we basically see 3 options here. So A, leaving the code alone, taking no further action. B, initiate a formal review process to review or to request that the planning commission begin review of potential code amendments and then return with recommendations that the council can consider and with ultimate decision. Or C, request the same review process as stated here in option B, while also directing evaluation of whether an interim moratorium should be considered during the review period. So again, I don't want to raise any alarms to the extent that we haven't had anybody making inquiries, but in light of the recent, the other energy storage applications that we're seeing, be developed in other jurisdictions in King County, we thought it would be best to bring this forward to you tonight and, highlight these options, highlight, what we've got, what we may want to think about changing, and then getting direction from you on how best to move forward.
Thank you. Question so far?
Well,
Councilor Holloway?
thank you. Sorry. My only concern right now is timing. I do not want any resources distracted from the responding to the best activity. I assume some time period, that's probably a false assumption to tell you the truth, but some time period after the permit and response, things will settle down, which we can put something else on the plate. But in the meantime, I don't want to be distracted from addressing the battery use. That's my only concern is timing.
Mhm.
So then my thought would be wondering if then if there's a concern about a partitioning of resources, robbing Peter to pay Paul situation, then I wonder if a moratorium would be appropriate then so that we could have that little bit of buffer of time to get through the immediate situation and then take on the next one.
Although the moratorium will take energy to put in place, you should do the homework up front to differentiate between a business data center versus a search data center or mining data center, the bad characters
Mhm.
versus the good characters. And how you differentiate those, I don't have a clear idea yet, but, so if we can do that quickly, that administration's got to advise on that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, is getting advice on kind of the time commitment that this could take in the short term and the long term, given those two general options of starting with a moratorium now versus just waiting and handling it a
Well,
little bit further down the creek.
and
down
a
the road.
moratorium starts a clock.
Right.
We can't perpetually go into moratorium. You have to state when you're coming out, and there's only a limited duration in which you can go in. So it will commit us to do something, either declare just kidding or actually do the work to change the codes within that time period. So you're committing to some action and some resource expenditure.
Right. Mayor?
Right. Just to reiterate that, a moratorium requires you to hold public hearing within 60 days. It requires a whole set of activities to begin. Moratoriums typically are for 6 months in the state of Washington. Yes, you can extend that. But it does require more immediate action. If you were to give direction as a council that you'd like us to take this up, then we start a process that is a longer process. It almost certainly involves the planning commission, and so there's a time that would be taken. Time that would take. It would take time. There we go. To move through that, and obviously that's something we could move based on resource availability. You still retain the ability, if you do not do a moratorium, to do one later. You can put a moratorium in place literally with 24 hours notice. You need a 24-hour notice to call a special meeting, and then you could declare and implement one at such a special meeting if you had an emergency declaration. So I just want to emphasize, we are not aware of anything imminently. So this is not about, hey, something's coming and we need to get on it. This is a topic of, hey, we know this is a topic of significance. Would you like us to start moving into this topic? In which case we're looking for your direction in that regard. Or if you feel more urgent, fine, give us that direction as well. Or you could choose, no, we don't need to do that right now. So we're just really looking for your direction. We're trying to bring forward something that's a significant issue now around the region. Could absolutely, as you see, our current zoning allows data centers in some areas. And so we just want to get your guidance. Should we start, put that into the work plan and start working on it? Do something more urgent, or don't put it into the work plan?
Yeah, I think that's very helpful for the context. I think that given the potential nature of this and the scope, I would like to hear the rest of the council's opinion on this, rather than just the two of us kind of decide, yeah, no, we're going to kick this down the road. I'd like to bring this to the council as a discussion item. But Councilmember Holloway.
So on this table, Office Park is a future designation, correct? It's not a current?
Yes. Future
Yeah,
designation.
is that the same
Well,
thing?
no, we do have Office Park zoning now. Let me show you where that is. It's down, see in the light purple
The light purple down there?
at the south end of 384th, I believe that is.
It's where Encompass is.
Yeah. No, that's not. It's where the old hospital used to be.
Oh, okay.
And there's a little bit of residential mixed in there.
But most of that's
Developed or
developed or
in
tribal
critical
owned.
areas or tribal. Yes, most of it is.
Okay, and then planned commercial industrial?
That's the mill site.
Okay,
So something that I have learned a lot about and still have a lot of questions about is the vesting procedure, what it is that actually vests a project and what doesn't. And I was surprised by how that works with some recent developments. And I'm concerned about how that could occur with regard to a moratorium on this potential land use. Mayor?
Yeah, so I'll ask the city attorney to comment on this as well. In the case of the area, so there's sort of two topics brought out in that memo. One is the UGA, the area that's covered by our comprehensive plan. Then there's the area within the city, which is covered by our current zoning, which is what this map is covering. In the case of what's inside of our city limits, where there is zoning in place, if someone applies tomorrow under the zoning, they are vested in today's zoning regulations. So this, so these land use regulations are things, the land use regulations. So there are other things that don't vest. Land use regulations do. So that's the point. And then city attorney, do you want to elaborate on that at all, or is that sufficient explanation?
Thank you, Mayor. No, I think that was, or Chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
City attorney.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, that was very accurate. I think the thing the moratorium would do is it would cut off the ability for an agency or person to vest. But as the mayor said earlier, we also have the ability to, council has the ability to call a meeting with 24 hours notice and then have a moratorium on the agenda.
Mayor?
Sorry, I meant to double back to the second part of the memo, which is that UGA, the area covered by our comp plan. That zoning is county zoning. We don't control that zoning. The zoning there does not currently allow, the county zoning there in the UGA does not allow for data centers. But again, that's something that the county controls, not us. Yeah.
And then I believe that filing an application is not the only mode of vesting. I'd be curious to learn more about that, but we've got time to handle that. I don't need an answer right this minute. Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll go to Mayor first.
Yeah, and just in that regard, obviously, if we were to receive inquiries about something, so typically before something's filed, an application is filed, there's some pre-application contact. And so we've received no pre-application contact. We're not aware of anything happening. Were we to receive such contact, that's obviously something we would pass along to you in the event that, or if you do not have a moratorium, if we do not have a moratorium in place, then as soon as we were aware there was some interest, we'd pass that information along to council. And as I said, you can always act. If you haven't established a moratorium, you can always act with as little as 24 hours notice to establish one within the city limits. And a moratorium, to be clear, just it's a moratorium on accepting or processing applications is what that is all about.
Director Davis.
What the mayor just said was what I was going to elaborate on a bit, as well as you're vested once you submit a complete application. So usually upon submittal of an application, a land use application, like a conditional use permit, the city has 28 days to make that completeness determination. Upon determination that it's complete, then the application is vested.
Okay. So my thought is that I'd like to get the rest of the council's opinion on this as well, and kind of get direction as a council rather than just the two of us. This is a very important topic that's affecting a lot of cities. Yeah, there are some that are huge that are going into various places, and yeah, it raises a lot of questions that hopefully we can address through a process. Okay, any other thoughts on this for now? Administration? Yeah.
Yes.
Director Davis.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there additional information that you think would be helpful for us to bring back for full council discussion, or is this presentation sufficient?
I think just some kind of general like sprinkling some grass in the wind to see which way the wind's blowing and the magnitude of the cost and the potential resources that could be needed. Not line items, but just a general sense of the commitment that would take for a moratorium, especially. Councilmember Hallway.
Well, I guess maybe it's a future question, but I mean, in declaring a moratorium, can we do it such that we say, we do not have water available to support these, and we're declaring a moratorium until we can reconsider that. So we've limited the scope, but still declared moratorium, just to preempt. Now, somebody may come saying, I don't need your water, but I'm just food for thought. Sorry, the wheels are turning. I can't stop.
Yeah, Mayor.
Yeah, we'll bring some information on you. What in a moratorium, if you think about the normal, what it does is it causes applications to not be accepted or processed from that date until the moratorium ends. So that's the action. It also lays out a work plan. Here's the things that the city's going to undertake to do. So there's sort of three sections, right? The first section is here's kind of what has us concerned. Here's what we're doing, the action we're taking today, which is the moratorium. And then the third section is here's the work plan. Here's the things we're now going to do during the course of the moratorium. So let us kind of, if I'm understanding what you're both saying is, hey, give us some ideas of how narrow or broad that could be. Is it specific issues that we'd look at, which therefore is more narrow? Is it broader issues? So we'll try to come with some ideas. We'll try and do that in a way that doesn't overly emphasize the notion of a moratorium. I think, again, we're not coming and saying we see something imminently happening. So we kind of came with the idea of how about a work plan to go, shall we put this on the agenda and start working through it? But we wanted to make sure you knew that option is available too. So we'll give some more detail on what that option could look like.
Thank you. Other thoughts for now?
No, I was looking.
Okay.
How can we do a moratorium on the cheap?
Right. Discount moratorium.
2 for 1.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll discuss that a little bit more at the agenda review. Which is the next thing on the agenda for tonight is a review of the draft agenda. Yeah, Mayor.
So just because there has been a little bit of confusion about this, just want to make sure, would this be okay as a discussion item under F&A committee? So we'll bring it as a discussion item. Is that? As opposed to somewhere else on the agenda.
As a multiple choice question.
Oh, yeah. As opposed to somewhere else on the agenda. It's not a presentation, it's a discussion item, we think.
I think so, apart from the presentation that Director Davis gave us.
Yeah, and just to be clear, there was nothing on this. All that was is the memo that you received.
Yeah.
Just plopped onto a few slides so that we could all look at portions of it, but there was no new information in this presentation. All the content is in that handout.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Mayor,
Director Davis.
thank you. Do you have a date in mind that we would bring this back to the council?
Monday.
Are you going to present it? Because I will not be here.
Okay. We'll figure out the who. The when is Monday.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I saw Drew raise his hand.
Yeah.
You just repeat everything she said.
Yeah. Look through.
Yeah.
Read what's on the screen. Okay, next item is the agenda for council meeting on June 8th, 2026. And currently it is slated to start at 7 p.m. if one could imagine that. So I think that's the place to start with regard to the potential for a special, or not special, an executive session at 6. Is there a desire from this body for that, and are resources, namely staff, available if we did want to have one? I'll start with Councilmember Hallway for thoughts on that.
There's no potential for executive session discussion on our favorite subject of late?
Mayor?
Of course, there's
Okay,
that possibility. We just didn't want to presume it. If you would like, then absolutely, we can have resources available, or, have attorneys available.
No, I was very much looking forward to this year actually reducing our number of executive sessions, but unfortunately, some things come up that has necessitated it. So I would rather actually have it at 6, as we have been having.
I was just thinking 6:30.
I don't know if half an hour is enough.
Okay
Really
with either one.
45. Usually it ends up being 25 minutes
Yeah,
if we do that.
you're right.
So, yeah, Mayor.
If I could, if you're having an executive session, there's another topic that I was about to bring up that to bring into the agenda. I need to bring a contract to you, a personnel matter contract to you.
Okay.
So I'd like, if we're going to have a executive session, if I could have that topic as part of the executive session as well.
Okay.
And
Are
that
there-
probably pushes you
6
to the
o'clock.
full hour.
Yeah, are those the same RCW?
It's
Or are they different
It'll be two different RCWs. We'll put in the appropriate RCWs if
Yeah.
if you just give us the green light. Yeah.
Okay. Yep, I'm okay with that. Okay, then getting on to the regular agenda at 7 PM is the call to order and the roll call.
No,
We're
that's
good there?
not- that's my-
Okay.
I was reading ahead. I'm like, yeah.
All right, then the Pledge of Allegiance and the agenda approval, followed by public hearings, presentations, proclamations, and appointments. We have no public hearings. We do have the appointment of a city administrator. Or is that a holdover?
No, that's
Nope.
there.
Okay, excellent. So we'll keep that one there. Then we have our favorite slate of options to choose from in terms of presentations. I believe that we are going to push off the Department of Corrections presentation to a future council meeting. Council members who had requested that are likely not going to be in attendance at the next meeting. So why do we just be inviting them back again for that time? In terms of the rest, though, I would ask the administration members of other committees if there was anything on this list that was of import and if there were particular reasons to bring those to the top of the list. I'll start with the mayor.
Yeah, so item number 5 and item number 7 are in fact the same item. So
We got 1, 3, 5, 4. I'm sorry, which one is number 5 for you?
the one
Tree
on
replacement.
the
and
screen, it
urban
says
forestry.
5. Yes.
Between 3 and 4. Okay.
So we would like to bring that item.
Yep.
It'll have an amalgamated title, but it's about the tree and urban forestry program. The item number 4, we'd like to bring that, although we'll reverse the order, it'll be the waste removal webpage and the snow webpage, but it's the same 2 items. It'll just read a little differently. That's the same presentation. It'll be from our communications folks. And then the item 8, sorry, item 9 is let me back up. Item 8, the dog park, is a discussion that came from the Parks and Public Works Committee, and they're sending that through. And so that probably is, all that you kind of had time for. The only thing I'm just stuttering a little because I'm a little confused about the tip. I believe that the tip does not need to come at this meeting. In fact, will not be ready, but if you could, if it's okay with you, I'll plan for it not to be there, but if I have your permission, if indeed it needs from a timing perspective to be there, then we'll add it back in if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Yeah, it needs, they're gonna come request public hearing, but didn't get that request. There's only one revision that they need to make, so, okay, it can come 2 weeks.
Okay. So the order will be snow webpage, waste removal webpage, followed by the tree replacement program, followed by the Stellar Park conversion to dog park.
Probably do tree replacement program, then the dog park, then the web pages.
Got it. That's what you meant by reversing the order. Okay, got it. Okay, and then the rest we will push off to a later date. Except for item number 10, which I thought would have been under Community Development Committee, the Food Mobile Vendors Code Update.
That item just doesn't need to be there.
I would agree. Yeah, I don't think that one's ready for council yet. Okay, next up is public comments and requests for items not on the agenda. Council may take certain action to allow things, comment for things that are on the agenda, as we have been for the last few meetings, but they'll be by motion. Consent agenda, approve the city council meeting minutes dated May 26, 2026. Approve the city council meetings, special meeting minutes dated May 29th, 2026, and approve the claims report dated June 8th, 2026. Any thoughts on the consent agenda? And was there anything from other committees? Oh, yes, we did have something from tonight. No, we didn't move it to consent. I take it back. Yeah, I don't believe that we have anything from consent from F&A or from community development that I recall. Okay, next then would be the Public Safety Committee, which has the volunteer EMT onboarding.
You missed the
Oh,
ordinances.
ordinances, thank you. Yep, ordinances. We have AB 26-024, the covered load ordinance. AB 26-025, the e-motorcycle ordinance amendment, which is kind of a small thing, but clarifying just some language. And then we have AB 26-028, an ordinance related to animal cruelty. I believe that all three of those would be for first reading. Yeah. And I believe that all three of those were intended to move forward as presented.
Yes,
That's my recollection.
yes, they were, yes.
Recollection. Okay. And then looking just further down, if there's anything else that looks like it's supposed to be an ordinance, I do not believe
Just
that.
three ordinances.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. The next is committee reports, Public Safety Committee, volunteer EMT onboarding for spring 2026. Is this a presentation, a discussion?
It's just a quick discussion, likely by the committee chair.
Okay, thank you. For Community Development Committee, we have no business at present for the council. Parks and Public Works Committee has AB 26-030, which is approval to execute contracts for previously approved capital
came off.
projects.
We pulled that.
And that one is not going to move forward. Okay, that one's taken off. Then we have F&A. AB 26-018, approval for legal services with Summit Law Group LLC, which we did move forward to the full council, but not on consent. Then we have the flood event update, which actually wasn't on our agenda for tonight, but I assumed that there was nothing new to report.
Correct. That's
Okay.
correct. It'll be a slide, as you've seen before, just stating that.
Okay. Then we have the data center discussion. So probably just add the word discussion. But yeah, as we discussed tonight with several options. And then on to the next thing, which is the discussion of potential best land use in unincorporated UGA. That may be moved up to earlier in the meeting, but that would be something for the council to take action on at the meeting. And then there's Committee of the Whole. We do not currently have anything under Committee of the Whole. Is there anything that staff or administration want to bring? No. Okay. Then nothing for Committee of the Whole. Next, we have reports. Do you have the mayor's report? Is the mayor intending to have a report? Okay, then we'll get a mayor's report this time. And then the next item is commission and committee liaison reports as per usual, followed by a placeholder for executive session, though, yeah, we will have one at 6 p.m. We could end up needing more time at the end potentially, but that's something that we would decide at the council meeting. Mayor.
Yeah, and with that in mind, you don't need it on the agenda. As a regular meeting, if you were to add that, you would just add that.
Yep. Okay, then the last thing on the agenda for Monday would be adjournment, which takes us to the end of the council meeting for Monday, June 8th. Any other thoughts on that? Okay,
good to
then
go.
we've completed that one. That does lead us to the end of our agenda tonight. Seeing no hands going up, there being no further business before us, we will adjourn F&A at 6:46 p.m. Thank you all for being here.